You're tuning into Season 7 of Inclusion Revolution Radio. I'm your host, Novie Craven, coming to you from the studio of Private Media, a podcast production host. Today's episode is all about one of the most powerful ideas in our Special Olympics movement, Unify. Unify means athletes and partners come together on the playing field, in the workplace, and even right here on this podcast. I'm honored to be joined by two incredible guests who have been a big part of my journey. First, Alex Polino, who has helped curate Inclusion Revolution Radio and continues to shape its vision as part of the Special Olympics communications team. And second, Chris Betts, a member of the Special Olympics Global Strategic Partnership team and my Unified Sports partner, who has experienced firsthand the impact of playing side by side. Together, we're diving into what it means to be unified, not only in sports, but media, leadership, and life. Welcome, Alex and Chris, to the Inclusion Revolution Radio.
Thanks for having us. I'm psyched to be here. It's going to be a really fun conversation.
Great to be here, Novie.
Alex, take us back to the beginning. How did the idea for Inclusion Revolution Radio come about? And what role did Unify play in shaping the vision?
Good question. It kind of came together pretty organically. You and I started working together towards the end of 2020. I was fairly new to the company at that time, and you and I were working together on some internal newsletters and memos. And I asked you, what is one thing that you really like to do, or what is something that you're passionate about? And just keep in mind that this was during the peak of COVID, so it was a bit harder to connect with folks and to get to know them on a bit of a deeper level, right? We were all sort of in our little Zoom Teams boxes. We were having trouble really coming together at that point. And you told me that what you really liked doing was storytelling, right? And so as a communications person, I was like, that's interesting. That's what we're good at here. Is there a storytelling channel that we sort of have not tapped into yet? And I was sort of looking at the media landscape as a whole, and sort of what was hot in that aspect at that time. And a big thing that was really coming to the forefront was podcasts. I sort of went back to our team, the comms team, and I said hey, do we have a podcast? And if we don't, is this ever something that we've put thought into, or is there a reason why we don't? So then I came to you and I said, hey, Novie, what do you think of starting a podcast? And I think your initial response was you were not thrilled about it. I just don't think that you knew a ton about the podcasting world before that. I had to sell you on it. And here we are 4 years later, sitting in this beautiful studio. I always like to say that Novie and I started with a Zoom license and a dream.
Yes.
Because truly, when we started this podcast, it was Novie and I and a Zoom account. Now we're a team of 6 folks on the comms team, and it just continues to rapidly grow every year in ways that I never could have projected. Sitting in the studio, even if you asked me a year ago, I would have been I don't know, sort of like a pipe dream. And I don't know how, but the podcast continues to one-up itself. And that is all just a tribute to the amazing folks that we have on the podcast team and just their creativity and ability to keep pushing this project to heights that we never thought were possible.
What has it meant to you to build this podcast with athletes rather than for athletes?
Obviously, at Special Olympics, our athletes are at the forefront of what we do. But I think what's been really cool about this with you is, as a Special Olympics athlete and as a communications coordinator that sits on our team, we have direct access to tap into athlete storytellers and to really get an understanding of what you want to do in your career, where you want to go, the types of conversations that you want to have, how you want to sort of grow your abilities, right? So everything that we do, I don't necessarily have to sit back and wonder what would the athlete approach to this be, because I can just call you and say, hey, Novie, what do you think of this idea? And sometimes it's absolutely not, and that's cool, I respect that. And other times it's I think that's awesome, let's go for it. But what I really like is when Novie comes and says hey, but have we thought of this? I think for me, the biggest sort of perk of watching this podcast build from the ground up is the way that Novie has grown as an athlete leader and as a host, right? So just the the way that she has learned how to like engage guests in conversation and ask questions that are off the cuff and go off script and really like dive into the conversation to get to know the person on the other side of the microphone, like that to me has been the most beautiful thing in this whole project.
When I started the podcast, I was like, I didn't know how many numbers it was going to reach.
What are we at now, Novie?
I don't even remember. I don't even know.
6.3 million for the counting. Yeah.
Exactly. So definitely. So to my left is a amazing colleague, friend, Chris. Let's talk about Unified Sports. How did the two of us first get paired as partners?
Well, I believe it was about 10 years ago, Novie. And you were playing Unified Tennis, right? And you were getting ready for the championships, and your current partner couldn't make the championships. So you went through your whole Rolodex of friends, and you said, hey, can you play with me? And you finally got to the bottom, and you're like, maybe Chris could play.
I didn't know you, so...
I know. It was just a joke. I filled in for Megan, and we played in the championship matches, and we won the gold medal.
Yeah, we were the Mighty Ducks.
First time out there.
First time out
well,
of the
he
gate.
walked up to me, so that's his version. My version is, my mother noticed, I didn't notice him at first. My mother noticed him walking towards me, and she said, well, who's that good-looking man? I said, I don't know. So he said, my name is Chris, and so definitely actually, I think we started August 15th. I think we met in 2015.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so.
And we played tennis last night.
Yes, we did.
10-year anniversary, friend-iversary, right? Unified Sports anniversary. Right. And since then, I think we've done Unified Bocce. We've done Unified Basketball. Right. We've done Unified Golf.
Who's a better three-point?
You've done a Unified Podcast now?
Unified Podcast.
Who's a better three-point shooter?
Who's a better three-point shooter? Definitely me. I mean, what kind of question is that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We can go out after this and prove it.
Okay, cool. What stands out to you the most about playing together?
Oh, wow. We've always had a good time, right? I think that's what stands out. It's about the friendship. It's about the camaraderie. That's what's great about sports. It's a language to get to know somebody better. So it's just being on the same team together, going through good and bad seasons and good and bad games. We've won the gold medal and we've come in maybe the last place before, but we always have a good time. We always encourage each other. We always encourage our teammates and other teams. And that's what I think Unified's all about, is just being there for each other all the time. Good and bad, having fun, talking smack. That's what it's all about. So yeah, that's what stands out to me. Making new friends. Made a lot of new friends with playing Special Olympics Unified Sports. Probably that you and I probably would never have met, right? If it wasn't for sports. And I think that's what's so unique about it, right? Is whatever you do in life, really, that's what the unified concept is having something that you have in common, learning about the other person, other people, and it's a deeper understanding about each other. And that's how relationships are built, right? From something like that.
No, like both. I know you both work with me, but also besides working with me, outside of working, you both have really helped me. How you both have helped me through this process. It's like, now I know what's happening.
And I think, it speaks to what Unified, again, is all about.
Mm-hmm.
You know me from Unified Sports, mm-hmm. and you know Alex from working, in a unified manner with Special Olympics. So now you have these great relationships. Alex and I are just two of your very long list of friends and colleagues that you can call on, that you can lean on. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think what everyone wants. Not
everyone wants a sense of community, right?
Exactly.
A sense of friendship, a sense of belonging, right? Like that is, I know later you're going to ask me, but like that is what inclusion means, right?
And friendships aren't just from, an hour on the court together, right? They develop over time. So, it's been 10 years, like you said, but, we've done a lot of cool things. We've gotten to travel. We've gotten to play all kinds of different sports and work together.
Any favorite memories from the field?
From you and I?
Yes.
Playing together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Do you want me to talk about when I hit you in the eye with the tennis ball? Is that why that was on here? So we were playing doubles tennis.
Okay.
And, you have somebody up at the net and then you have somebody in the baseline, right? So I think what happened, right, was the ball went over your head. I was trying to recover it and save it. I was right behind her.
Yep.
She was up close to the net. And, I made a great shot. It was going to go right over. It was going to win us the
But
point.
her face got in the way?
Her head got in the way.
Ugh, Novie, what are you doing?
I literally felt
the point.
I don't. Well, the game stopped basically because I basically.
It was a major injury. I didn't know if she was going to the hospital
TV
or what.
Yeah, he said he offered to pay for my medical bills. That was very nice of the man.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely,
An expensive tennis match. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I bet Novie. That's obviously something that we always laugh about and talk about since you're okay. But
obviously,
we've had not one really specific. We can talk about like when you won, the gold in 2018.
I ran to Sean, then I ran to my mother, and then I ran to him.
Yeah. So there's, these are the top moments that kind of you think about because you won. But I really just think about laughing with all the other athletes and partners.
Right.
When we're standing there waiting to roll a bocce ball and we're making jokes and we're talking about what we did this past weekend or what happened at work that day. Like those are the things that I think about. Laughing with our friends Lindsay or Andres.
So it's about like the quality time.
Yeah, it's the stuff that happens in between. When you're actually rolling the ball or hitting a tennis ball or shooting the basket. So
or trying to hit a birdie.
Yeah, or on the golf course, right?
How could you forget about golf? This man loves golf. I'm trying to be like Tiger Woods.
Right. I'm trying to turn you into Tiger Woods too.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully one day I can beat him. What do you think makes a great unified partnership in sports or beyond?
I think the main thing that really leads to, a good example of what a unified relationship looks like. I think it's a lot of mutual respect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of being there for each other on the court, off the court, on the field, off the field. I think it leads into other aspects of life. By the way, another thing I thought about, there's two people that I have to text when I land, whenever I'm on a flight and let them know that I actually landed.
Those people are.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to say one is your mom.
Correct.
Okay. The other one is Novie Craven.
Novie knows.
Definitely having a certain group of people,
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure because, not our friendship, not our 10-year friendship, but also I want to make sure that you're not in the hospital, And
Appreciate that.
Definitely, and make sure you're not in the hospital.
Don't hit him in the head with a tennis ball and
That's
look
right.
him out of the hospital.
Yeah.
But definitely want to make sure, you guys are not like, he's not like.
Yeah.
And I think definitely then.
Nobody checks in on sick days,
Yeah. When you hear the word unified, what does it mean to each of you personally?
So I think the word unified
Mm-hmm.
means two people coming together with a common goal who are going to work as a unit without any sort of ego to create the best product, team, sport, whatever it is possible. I think that it spans so far off of the playing field. Like at Special Olympics, we say that like sports is the vehicle for everything that we do. And I sort of think it's the same way with the unified approach, right? Like when you put a unified pair together, there is like the possibilities are endless, right? Like there is no limit to what we can achieve.
Right.
And I think like the success that you guys have had on the multiple courts that you've won gold medals on, I think the way that like we've come together to create and grow this podcast, I think the coolest part about the unified approach is like you don't know where it's going to take you. And
Right.
I kind of love that it's this like unexpected ride and you're just like, okay, like buckle up. I'm here for it. And just like the way that you get to know someone on that deeper level to sort of what like Novie is talking about. I just think that it is one of the greatest things that we do at Special Olympics, and like everyone should have that feeling of what it's like to know like a unified approach in
Mhm.
life.
It's impacted our lives. I don't think I'd be sitting right here if it wasn't for Unified Sports. We're sitting here in this studio. You have this amazing podcast. You've achieved all the things that you've achieved, with a little bit of help from your friends here,
Mhm.
but a lot because of it's who you are.
Yeah.
And a lot of our athletes are just like that. They just need a little bit of support.
For listeners who want to experience the power of a unified in their own communities, what's the best first step?
Yeah, the best first step, Novie, I know you know this answer too.
No.
Best first step. You don't know this answer?
No, go ahead.
Okay, if you want to play unified sports in your local community, I think you would probably want to reach out to your local Special Olympics.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you knew that. You knew that one. So if you're living in Missouri,
Mhm.
you'd go to Special Olympics Missouri.
Yeah.
On the Google machine, right?
Just hit Special
You
Olympics.
type that in, and it would pop up a beautiful website. Go right there. Easy way to sign up and see what's going on in your community. Unified Sports, one of the fastest growing programs in all of Special Olympics. It's probably in your local community, right? It's probably, if you're in school, if you have kids in school, it's probably at your local school. That's growing extremely fast as well. Unified Champion Schools, Novie. So it's all around your community. That's one of the first things I did when I moved to DC was just looking up what Special Olympics had going on in my community. It was easy to find. I'm sure it's easier to find now. Follow this podcast, follow Special Olympics on social media. You get to find out all the amazing things that's happening in your community across the nation, around the world. Very inspirational.
Alex and Chris, what does inclusion mean to you?
I think inclusion to me, and I feel like my answer at the beginning of this versus the end of this episode is different. I think inclusion to me is simply put opportunity, right? Because without the opportunity to showcase your abilities, by default, you're not included.
Right.
And so I think inclusion is just saying, hey, give me a chance. Let me show you what I'm capable of, because one, you won't regret it, but two, like, you are going to be blown away, and Novie does that every day in my work with her and her abilities as a podcast host and as a friend. And I think like it really is just getting that door open, right? Cracking it just a bit, because those Special Olympics athletes are going to run right through it.
And I think, you started with that phrase. It was a Zoom link and a dream, right?
Yeah.
About this podcast.
Like
I would almost say it was, it started even before that. It started on the field when Novie decided to sign up to play unified bocce and unified tennis, right? So, by playing unified sports, by the inclusion that was shown on the sports field, that led to other relationships, that led to showing her what she could do off the field and off the court, which led to her getting a role at Special Olympics International, which led to her meeting you and these great ideas coming together. So all these things start with that simple act of inclusion. Hey, you want to come play on the same team as me? And that's basic. It's simple, but it leads to better understanding people. It leads to doing other things. And it breaks down barriers. And, I think everyone could point to some time in their life where they weren't included. They know what that feels like, right? Doesn't feel good. So when you are included, when you're invited to go see a movie, go to a baseball game.
Cardinals, go Cardinals, go Cardinals.
There we go. We got that plug in, Novie. Okay. But it leads to, to new friends and new opportunities. And I think that's, that's the vision that we see, at Special Olympics for our communities. And I think there's no better example of this podcast sitting right here today, this full circle moment that Novie's gotten to experience, right? From what she's had on the field and what she's had at the office. And it's just a great example of what all of our athletes are capable of.
Alex and Chris, thank you for joining me on this special episode and sharing your experience. You both shown how powerful it is when athletes and partners come together. To our listeners, if you've been inspired today, find your own way to be unified. Play, volunteer, and partner, and share. That's how you join the Inclusion Revolution. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to Inclusion Revolution Radio. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Special Olympics. We will see you next time for more incredible stories that celebrate community empowerment and inclusion.